I can't even remember, Pomona. It's been so long. I've been in therapy every week. I'm in lockdown in prison. I'm about to go nuts. If this thing don't get over, I won't make another year of this.
It's a whack year. It's a very whack year.
You're still kicking. You want a picture? I'll send you to hang on that wall behind you of me.
Oh, behind Statman.
I really like you on the other side, and I really like me over here. I don't know why.
You like it?
Can you put you on that side, me on that side?
Do you like? You want?
I don't know. Over here now I can see me. And I like to watch my hands, and now I got you. You ever see the movie Sandlot? I got to tell you, Sergeant, you look like the kid in Sandlot. That's who I thought it was. I thought, what the hell's going on?
What are you talking about?
Got his little glasses on. Okay, Sarah's got her a stud boyfriend in Texas. No, that was totally wrong. She's got a gorgeous guy in Texas, and he let her come home here for a couple of weeks to film just for your show. That's how important it was. She does everything from Texas. So anyway,
nice.
Gorgeous soul, and so she, and love having them back here. Missed you, Sarah. Have you ever seen Sarah? You seen?
Yeah.
Yes, we know Sarah for quite a while, Johnny.
Got all two beautiful women right here in my sights. Two gorgeous men. I'm about to go over the other side, but don't take it personal. He wants to get rid of me and get Mario back on. Okay. Go to work. Ready?
Yeah, just start anytime, man.
I'm ready to go. Let's do this, Freak Nation.
Now, I read one time or heard one time that going down the track about 1,000 feet, you say you saw Elvis.
I did. I'm still swearing to it. They wrote a book about it, a picture book. I was at Memphis racing Al Hoppin. He was right out the window, about 800-900 feet. She lit up on fire. The tires went away. I come around. Thank God I hit the wall. But when I was coming around, she spun off backwards. I could see the tower and all the signs on the tower. She went out in the field end over end. And a media guy was there along with safety car, and he was looking at me like, what happened? And it was kind of like, you're in Memphis, you're in Elvis land. And I said, I saw Elvis at 1,000 feet back there. And
wait, who was that guy with me? Who was that guy interviewing me? That was you? The kid from Sandlot? Wait a minute. Oh, we got to throw. You're really showing my age. Let's throwing this old shit, okay? Let's get back to today. Here we are. Okay. No, that was great. That was a great interview.
John,
Elvis, baby.
That was probably 1997, 98 when Statman and I teamed up at KCOP, Channel 13 in Los Angeles. You came into the studio Sunday night, and I know I'd met you at the pits at Pomona many times before, but I think that might be your first TV interview with yours truly talking about Elvis, and you were probably about 50 pounds heavier at the time.
Well, let me be clear. I've done a lot of interviews. They just never played them. Nobody cares. Wait a minute. First of all, this is 20 years of SpeedFreaks. This is a big thing, 20 years. And I want to congratulate all of you on it. Statman, Sergeant, how do you, is it Gladys? How do you pronounce your
Crash Gladys, yeah. Crash.
Okay, I'm going to ask something right now. What is your real first name? Sophie or something?
Sophie, Crystal. Yeah. We can go with whatever.
Your TV name?
Guess.
Craig, your TV name?
That's my TV name.
I love it. Statman, I love you. I haven't seen you. I ain't racing, so I don't get to come on the show. You know what I'm saying? But
we got to have you, partner. I mean, right now we have you, and it seems like a wonderful thing to have John Force in the Freak Nation. I mean, just getting ready for the show, we did the best 5 minutes in the 20-year history.
Yeah, I blew my deal. I got nothing left. Hey, I'm not racing right now. I want to tell you, I want to get out to all the fans that watch your show, that love you guys. We had a little hiccup along the way. NHRA, I love NHRA, and I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a little trophy here a little bit later. This is a Wally, but my granddaughter, Autumn Height, she won this. She's won 2 of them already, running junior dragsters. And then Jacob, that's my daughter Ashley's boy. And of course, Adra's daughter, Autumn. And he won one, and then he won another one. And Noah's like, Grandpa, Noah's only 6 years old. He goes, will I ever win? And he goes, will I ever get a trophy? And he goes out there at Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, and the fans are on me and Robert. How can you go to racing and you won't go to, to Gainesville? But there is a reason for a lot of stuff. I've got to stay healthy. I've got to stay financially right. I'm working for all my sponsors for Auto Club of Southern California, AAA, and all the auto clubs nationwide. I'm driving for Peak, antifreeze, coolant, you know that, Chevrolet, Camaro, Montana brand flavor pack with Brittany and Monster Energy. I'm getting these plugs in because that's why I'm here. But I'm still working. Every day we go to the shop. They have built so many parts in India. And people say, how do you keep those people on? I had over 100 people. I only got half or less of them now, but they're only working half hours. So we're still in business. I was leading up to tell you something, and once again, but what I'm saying is when I stood at Vegas is when I realized, and little Noah went out there with his dad because I have to go sit in the stands. They don't let me around. And I was out there. And I remember standing a picture in my museum that's on the wall of me and Autumn walking down the track in the middle of the night when her dad won in funny car, and he was up on the podium, with all them risque burlesque girls and stuff. I never did that. Yes, okay. But man, you guys have really cleaned this show up. We were X-rated, and now we're in the Bible Belt, which is a good thing. So, what I'm getting at is, in the middle of this, I was out there with Noah, and it's 4 wide. I've been at 4 wide when guys staged with their rear wheels. Guys drove right through the Christmas tree. Like drivers just at brain dead. And I won the inaugural. I was brain dead too. I just got lucky. But Noah went out there under the lights in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago and blazed right down there, and he won. And he's all yelling, Grandpa, I want a Wally just like you. And he's telling his dad and he's telling his mom he's just in heaven. And then they go over and they go, here's your check. They gave him a great big check. And then they go, and he's like, where's my Wally? Well, for the 4 wide, you don't get a Wally. You get a jacket, which is just as good. But I don't know if he recovered yet. I said, can we just buy him a trophy? I got jackets too. So I've asked for one so I can frame put in the museum. But he wanted a trophy, and I said, you're going to win plenty of trophies. But to watch him out there in the dark, what I've watched my whole life, and then Caps goes in the newspaper and he goes on the media and he talks about me. Forrest ain't really an old dumb truck driver like they say. He's really smart and he really does right things right. He made decisions. Well, Caps, sometimes that ain't exactly true. I am just a truck driver and I love it and I'm working my way back there. But I want to thank Ron Caps. He won Gainesville. He beat a great racer, Wilkerson, in the final. But Caps, I want to thank you. I love you for all the things that you've done to help me get through this pandemic, because I ain't doing so good. I'm mental and I've been in therapy. Now my doctor's in therapy. That's how bad I am. Okay, we get back to the show now. Let's get to the show.
John,
I'm warmed up now. I'm ready.
Get ready.
John, to put a period on this, you are working your way back to get back into the NHRA, correct? Right?
Well, yeah, and I want back. Well, Robert hates it. Brittany hates it. Proc hates it. And you can't even chase a sponsor because you don't know where you're going. I want to go out and sell new programs, and I can't do that. I've been designing my museum, and Robert goes, you hung that picture yesterday and you're taking it down today. What's wrong with you? Because your brain is trying to keep going and doing what we love to do. But this is about you, 20 years. I got 45 years. You got 20. You guys are still kids. You got your whole life ahead of you. You know what I got? I got a tombstone coming. You know what it's going to say on it? I told my wife, and she's still mad about it. I said, you write on my tombstone, it ain't over till I say it's over.
Oh, wow. That's perfect.
I sold 2 of them. I bought them both and sent one to Kenny. Okay.
There you go.
I'm ready to start your show. I'm warmed up now. I'm ready.
Wait a minute. John Force, you bought it up. You bought it up. Your tombstone. Are you going to sell a sponsorship on your tombstone? Are we going to see Pete and all your sponsors on your tombstone as well?
That's
If I
forever.
did the whole history of them, it would go on forever. But you know what? You know, they said about my mom, she's still preaching from the grave, because that's the way people are that love what they do. And I never knew my mom was religious all these years until when she got older. And of course, nobody knows how religious I am. I really am. I'm debating. If something don't happen, I'm going to build an ark up on top of this hill I live on. I'm going to build me an ark, and I'm going to get all the animals together and put them in there. And
Is it going to be 10,000? John, is it going to be 10,000 horse?
That's
Is it
about
going to be?
as I'm going to get. I'm sorry, Gladys.
No,
Is your ark going to be 10,000 horsepower? You going to put that into the ark too?
I'm telling you what. I keep seeing this commercial on TV. Somebody's building an ark somewhere in Tennessee, and I can't understand what it is. They keep showing this ark, and everybody runs out to it. But I think it's going to be some kind of a amusement park. But I don't know, and I don't even know why I brought that up. Did I mention Baldwin Builders or Cornwell Tools got a new toolbox? It is unbelievable. It's got everything but the kitchen sink in it, and I think it's in there somewhere. I just don't know how to get into it. Cornwell Tools, one of my new sponsors. Great. Can I play? Hey, want me to plug 20 years of SpeedFreaks? That is huge. You guys stayed together. And Mario's still the greatest. I got to be careful. Graham Rahall's dad, Bobby, is one of the greatest racers. You know, I always said, and you know, I saw him win the Indy 500. And he drove the Budweiser car, and Robert looks at me and he goes, "John, you didn't watch him win the Indy 500." I said, "Yes, I did." He said, "You didn't even own a TV then." So, but I knew he won it because I met him.
There you
His
go.
dad's really a great guy, and his mom, they're just the best people. And we got a new grandbaby coming. I said, the funny car driver tried to cut a deal. If it's a girl, can I have her to drive funny cars? If it's a boy, you can have him for Indy cars.
That's where I wanted to ask you is where's this baby going to go? What if this baby wants to go off-road racing? Come on.
You know what? You don't get into that. We talk about it. It's like Jacob, Noah, and Autumn. They're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
They might grow up and want to be president, but who would want that job? Okay.
Seriously.
Okay. I just had to go there. Hey, I ain't taking no sides. Okay. So
Hey, John. Okay, on that note,
this is what we do, except we can't cuss no more.
John,
I can't.
In the
you
early
cuss all
days,
you like.
you got away with murder, some of the stuff you folks said. And then it was like, I said, these guys won't last another week getting away with the shit you guys talked about. And you lasted 20 years. I can't believe it. Now you got all kinds of shows. Sarah's telling me you're everywhere.
John, let's go back to 19. Excuse me. Let's go 19. Let's go back to 2004, I believe, with this one. Let me ask you this in front of the Freak Nation on ESPN2. How many of those championships would you give up to go back and spend time in the house with your daughters?
That is probably the biggest thing that NHRA drag racing that made me a champion, along with all the sponsors, Castrol and Ford. You know, it took me away from my family. If you're going to win, you got to win. You got to live it like anybody. But to win it 14 times, man, you give up everything. I mean, I wasn't there to teach her how to. That's why I'm so excited now. NHRA has given them back. And even the wife's starting to like me. She loves me. She just don't like me.
Same old material. Hey, did you see that picture on that red trailer, Coletta? There's the great ones of drag racing. Connie Coletta, you know, we got all these young stars today. You know what I mean? But you got people like Connie Coletta, Don Schumacher, they've given their life to the sport. And I got a picture of Schumacher right outside my elevator. People come in here and say, thought you didn't like him. There ain't anybody I don't like. I like everybody. Okay? And by the way, I want to say to our men and women in the military, the armed forces, God bless you for what you do for this great country of ours, and the families that are home, you know, waiting for you to come back. And I want to say to the policemen and firemen, same thing, God bless you. And I want to say to the responders, you know, the men and women fighting this COVID-19, you're the real heroes. And I run into them, they go, hey, John Forrest in the airport, man, I can't believe it's you. And I go, I can't believe it's you. You know what I'm saying? You're the real deal. We're just put in this deal, and we're lucky to do what we love to do. But we still got the greatest country in the world. This pandemic's going to pass. It's going to go by. I don't base nothing on nothing. Just God has a plan, and He's going to fix us. I got to believe that.
John, I want to go back to something you just said, because you referenced Don Schumacher, and we were kind of given an eye-opening conversation with Ron Capps, because yes, you guys have had your differences in the past, you and Don Schumacher, but Ron made it very clear to us, and I want to hear it from your mouth, just how tight you guys really are as friends in reality. I mean, you guys really would get the shirts off your back for each other, wouldn't you? I mean, the media can say one thing, but what's the reality with you and Don Schumacher?
I don't know Don. I don't know him. He's asked me to go fishing, but that's because he had used me for bait and throw me overboard. So I don't fish and I don't golf. But Don Schumacher's given his life to this sport. He runs a lot of big companies. He's invested for teams, drivers, crew chiefs. His hospitality is the biggest out there. But he loves it. You know, he's a few years older than me, but he raced with my relatives, Beaver Brothers and Condit, in the early days before I was even, for anybody knew who I was. And so he's given his life to it, like Coletta, like Gartlets, like Shirley. These are my heroes. Don Perdome. You know, Perdome, oh, Forrest, you're so full of it. No, I really do love you. I love who you are. You make me tick. And, you know, and it's just the way I think. You know, I met Frank Teagues, one of my sponsors, a grower, owns a bunch of companies, Montana Brand and Flavor Pack, and Brittany drives for. But he asked me one day, you won all these championships, 16, and yet you're praising Don Perdome right here at the races that he's your hero. I said, because he is. Because I stood and watched Perdome win. Then I got to race him, and he beat me. And these are just people that I look up to, that I love, that got me here. And there's so many of them. Kenny Bernstein running 300 at Gainesville, you know, that year in a top fuel car. I never want to lose, you know, Beetle. I never want to lose these people because they're what got me here. And if I start thinking who I think I am and you start believing your own bullshit, did I cuss? Click.
It's all right.
Can they erase it? If you start believing it, well, then you ain't worth nothing. I'm going to fight this thing till I go. I'm going to go out in the end the same, and I hope I go out on a racetrack. And that's why I got to get back. Love NHRA, love the work Cromwell's doing, Peter Clifford, all of them people trying to make it work. And it's hard. This is hurting them, and they're trying to hang on to it. I wished I was out there with Capps and all these racers that are out there. And, oh, my family's mad at me. I made a decision. I ain't going to blame it on Robert. I ought to. But, you know, Robert, we looked at this financially. You're going to go down this road. You got this big machine. If you don't do something, you ain't going to make it. You're going to get out there, and you ain't ever going to get back. Now, what do we do to race next year? So I started cutting deals at the end of the first quarter to be able to come back. And that's why we got to come back. Because I love it. I love being with the fans. I love being able to come get on shows where I can talk. I used to stand in a truck stand right downtown LA, a truck stop, and tell stories to get a free coffee and a tuna sandwich. And now I get to go out here in front of millions of people. By the way, send those tuna sandwiches to Where do they send them, sir? I don't even know where I live. The point I'm getting at is this gave me an opportunity to be with people, to be with fans, to be with my family. Like I said, I got a wife that loves me. She just don't like me. And that ain't an embellishment, you know. I've been married. Saturday, I was married for 39 years.
Wow.
39 years. Now, how could anybody put up with me for 39 years?
Well, she did.
Yes, she did. God bless her. She did it for God and her children. Otherwise, just me, I'd be history. Okay.
John, seriously though, seriously, you struck on something that's so true. You do praise a lot of people, but you don't necessarily, I mean, I know nobody wants to talk about themselves necessarily, but what you've done for the sport is ginormous. You are the driver of the century for NHRA. You don't talk enough about yourself. I mean, you know what you mean to the sport, right?
Ginormous. Ginormous. Is that a word?
Yeah, that's Will Ferrell.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's a good word, isn't it?
He's just making up English. Let me tell you, my heroes are Big Daddy, Shirley Muldowney, Raymond Beadle, Bernstein. I mean, I could go on forever. You know what I'm saying? The people that are out there. And I've been really lucky. And yeah, I've done my job, but I surrounded myself with people like Austin Coyle and Bernie Federley. And now I got Jimmy Prock, the next young generation. Daniel Hood. I got Grubnick. Grubnick, right now, I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be in Montana. He might be an astronaut out in space in between races. This guy really is from the moon. And when he talks about stuff, he puts me into shock. But he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Where do these guys come from? You know, and they just, but because I love them and I let them do their own thing. But I got to tell you, I'm going to say this right now on SpeedFreaks, Don Schumacher, I love you. I got mad at you at times, especially when you beat me, and because I don't like being beat, but I love you as a person for all that you've done for the sport, given your life, and one day I will go fishing with you, okay? But right now I'm trying to keep my machine together. You're out there racing. I'm not. I can't explain that to nobody. I didn't get sick. I did get on Nutrisystem. My wife and kids got me on it because I was worried about, no, this ain't a sponsor plug. You know, I'm weighing 195 pounds. I'm down to 170, and I got the needle to 168, and I went back to 170. I can't get it down. My pants keep falling down when I walk around. Robert said, you're making that on purpose. Your pants falling down. You're what are them guys called it? What are they called? See,
it's the fashion.
What?
The flasher. Flasher.
No, when you're here after March, it's like, what am I going to do? We go to Indy, me and Robert, but them guys at Indy, they run it. And Robert and I, we stay here every day and we watch it going and we listen and we want to come back, and we're continually shooting social media. Shot a Cornwell commercial for the new toolboxes. We shot a deal for Chevrolet today. We shot it before, but talked about it today with Peak, giving away a Chevrolet truck. You know what I mean? With Blue Def. And we got a 10-time giveaway with antifreeze and coolant, a rebate for $7. We're working all the time. Robert's filming for Auto Club. I'll be filming Thursday with my granddaughter, Autumn. And so she works for Auto Club. So we're doing some stuff to keep busy. And then I started in redesigning the museum. We had cars go to Indy and cars come back here. But this ain't what I do. I drive race cars at 330 miles an hour on fire. And I can't wait to get back because that is what's most important. And driving Robert Height crazy. And I do love you, Schumacher. I didn't just say that because they told me to. Okay, you've really given your life to the sport. So let's don't quit now. Let's hang on. Let's make it work. And thank you, Ron Capps, for all the plugs. And anyway, I'm healthy. I work out in my gym every other day. I live my Nutrisystem, and it works. And I got down to 170 and I parked, and I got to get another 5 off. My doctor says, you got to get to 165. I didn't weigh 165 in 8th grade. I'm never going to get there. So then I started having dizzy spells. I start stumbling a lot. Sarah was laughing this morning. It's called Freebio. What's it called? Vertigo.
Oh,
And I know it's old age. And I'm going through what I'm going through. But you put me in a fuel funny car, I'll show you how to drive it. Ron Capps, you and all you Schumacher guys are in the lead out there. Hagen and Tommy Johnson and Beckman. I love all of you, but I'm coming after you. Guns a-blazing, on fire. And that's just in my rental car.
yes.
Wow. Man. John, a stat will go to you in just a second. I got one more for you, John.
We always felt loved. We always got to be part of a really cool, winter circle pictures. We were on TV sometimes, and because of all those years, my sisters and I are all hooked, and Adra's involved with Robert. So if you would have given it up, I wouldn't be here today getting to race in funny car.
Aww.
Wow.
Ashley Force back in 2004, 5, I believe, 6 or 7, something like that.
Yep.
Finished
Right.
doing the points to me, my wife. I'm still on the couch because of that. Okay. Like, you just had to win it. Took her out at Vegas or somewhere. But you know what? Ashley was just a natural. She told stories like me. She makes movies right now upstairs. She runs our TV production company. But them 2 boys and her husband are her life. And they are racing. They both got their own cars, and they're out there. We just got a deal with Jayco Trailer Company. They got these RVs that haul the race cars, or they're 4-wheelers, and they're hot rods, but it has a place to get them out of the sun. I'm selling trailer houses. You know what? They're together. They're a family. Robert's out there. He got one, and so they're able to spend some time with the kids. And a lot of people say, well, how can you go there? Well, there ain't no crowds there. Right. You might see me. I got in a picture at Irwindale this weekend. Autumn won it Saturday night. They all lost on Sunday. But I go there and I wear a mask. But I went running back. Robert said, hey, there's a fan wants to get a picture. And I thought he was back at the trailer. So I went down there and he wasn't there. And then they said he's in the winter circle. So I ran up there and I forgot my mask. And a lady said, John Force, you know better. And I'm thinking, I got to get a picture with this kid. So I got in the winter circle and I got the picture. I didn't breathe on nobody. So, love it. We do have to social distance. Yeah. We got to wear our masks. We got to do things right. And I do. I'm 10 feet from Sarah. You know what I mean? But when there wasn't a pandemic, Sarah would never get within 10 feet of me. Because she got this gorgeous guy.
In Texas.
Sarah's like family. She runs my program, all the stuff. She's a one-man band right now till we can get some people back. But we kept all of our leads in Indy, my machine shops, my chassis shop. I did lose Brandon Baker. So Baker, come back. I love you. He had to go. He was starting his own business. I still got my guy in the paint shop that runs it, but I kept all my leads, my backups, and they're all working. They don't work. I didn't cut anybody's wage. What I did was I cut the hours in half. Everybody owes me a 20-hour week, and that's all I want from you. And so I got them there, and they said, we got enough parts to run all next year. We've never been caught up on chassis, new drag chassis, and new funny car and body mounts. The new Chevrolets are done. The Camaros, we've upgraded them. Chevy did. So we're ready to go to get back in the game. And I can't wait to get there with the fans. And I know they're going to say social distance because, there'll be something still going on. But I'm going to hug everybody I can get close to. So as soon as the thing passes. Okay?
All right, John, people always talk about you and sponsors. The one thing I'll never forget, John Force, it was early on. It was November 2000. You had just won a championship. We had a sponsor, a sandwich shop, and we needed sponsors. That was our first major sponsor. We needed sponsors, and you just won a championship, and you promoted that sponsor. No request from us. You did it on your own. I will never forget that as long as I live. You gave $50,000 worth of promotion to that sponsor and did it on your own. And I thank you again for that.
Well, but you're welcome. And you got a name on your shirt, Sergeant. Pillsbury, I can't read it. My eyes are so bad. And I'm going to drive a people funny car. What does that say?
Guitar, Gibson.
Oh, Gibson guitars. Yeah, I got a few of those. And I don't play the guitar. I got the piano, don't play it.
That's for the grandkids.
Nothing but drag racing. But you know what? Your show gave me an opportunity, because a lot of shows it's just strictly racing, and you got to talk about what went on. You know, if you knew the times, and you give us that opportunity to say what we want, but if you knew the times that we win the race, get a few beers in us, and then I got somebody to drive me home. I learned that lesson. Okay. And then all of a sudden they go, Forrest, we just got a call. You got to be on SpeedFreaks tonight. And I'm standing here with too much alcohol. And it's like, oh, I can't do this. You got to go on. We told you they may call if you won. And so I remember going on, and it was probably the worst interview I ever did. If you could find it, you would see it. But I was just standing there trying not to say nothing wrong, and still I'd been drinking. But that happens. I quit drinking. It's been almost 2 years. I went in after my crash. I had to go to one of the trauma centers. I went to Miami, and they took me in there, and they said, man, we saw the videos, and you didn't just whack your head. You know, you beat yourself up, and then you get out of the car for 2 weeks, and you get right back in the car. You never missed a race. And you crashed again. Then you got out of the car 3 weeks later, and you crashed again. And then you did it again. It was 4 crashes that 1 year. What year was that, Sarah? Wasn't last year, the year before. 2018. What year is this today? 20? See, I hit my head. But the point was, they said, you can't go on like this hitting your head. You could kill yourself. And I said, you don't understand. I quit racing. I don't want to be funny. I don't want to make the good Lord mad. But because I'm getting close to going upstairs or maybe downstairs. I don't know. But it's going to make me mad. But what I'm saying is, I said, I'm already dead if I can't drag race. And that's what I'm going in this pandemic. We got to get back. We got to get back to normal. And I don't know how to do it. I ain't that smart. But I'm going to be ready when they say charge. My 18-wheelers, my guy called me up a week after Gainesville. He said, well, can we shut these trucks off? I said, what do you mean shut them off? Well, you said don't even fuel the trucks and don't shut them off. Have them ready to roll because we're heading to Vegas. And so he left it running for a week. See, I told you I never lie, but I embellished that a little bit of an embellishment.
John, do you remember in the studio with us many, many years ago when you sat across from an Indy 500 winner?
And it wasn't Bobby Rahal.
You remember that?
It was Eddie Cheever.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Man, I'm thinking you're going to say Mario, but I'm thinking he's old as me, and he's a lot cuter. Yeah, I remember that. That's pretty cool.
You were blown away. You were blown away. You multi-time champion, but you were blown away by a guy that won one race.
Yeah.
In the Indy 500. You were just floored.
You had so many championships yourself. I was shocked at that too.
That's huge, winning the Indy 500. You know, the Rahal family was right in the fight this year, and then it got called for whatever, yellow flag or something. I don't understand how that works, but they had the kid Santo. My wife says I always say his name wrong. But
Takuma Sato.
But Rahal was third. He was right in the heat of battle. And we thought, man, to win that, and Rahal will get that win. Somebody, sooner or later, when God's ready and he thinks you've earned the right. Now, if any of you are atheists there, you don't believe, I'm not speaking out of hand for nothing. I talk religion, and I struggle with religion. Some days I sit out and I go, okay, this ain't making sense, Lord. And I know you're there and I ain't ever going to go against you, but some things don't make sense. Would you please explain to me? And I was out in my front yard because when we got shut down after Gainesville, I said, don't run the air conditionings in the building, shut off the water, don't mow the grass. I'm out there mowing the grass. So my guy said, you know, you ought to go prune the hedges. Now, this is how it works. Turn you back on. I want to see the expression on your face. Okay. So here I am, and I'm out there, and I'm cutting the roses. And if you've ever cut roses, I had a little cutter, and I had my hands, and I was in my little Jesus shoes. Jesus shoes. That ain't funny. Little shoes. Yeah, they call them that. You know, I'm out there, and right in the middle of it, I'd cut a branch, and I stuck a big old thorn in me. And I thought, man, and I threw it down, okay? And I turned around, and I'd taken my shoes off. It was a hot day, and I stepped in a big old pile. I think we got coyotes that run on our hill, and I stepped in a pile of poop. And it went between my toes, and I'm looking at it, and I am furious. Okay, God, I'm out here cutting the roses. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and then you got to have me step and poop. What are you going to do next to me? And I turned, and I stepped with my other foot on that branch of thorns. Let me tell you, it took me to my knees. I fell to the ground like, oh, God, I was crying like they were stuck in me. Big, it was a big thing. And I'm going, God. And I look up and I said, thank you, Lord, for making my mind right. Because next they're going to drop an airplane on me. Another thing, when you step in poop, the things can't get worse.
But they can.
That's right. Don't mess with God. And he has a plan. And even for the ones that don't believe, whatever that is. But he loves all his children. And now I'm turning into a preacher.
Preacher John, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, that will get right through the roof. Okay. Next question. Okay. You, Statman, you had any questions?
I got a perfect question. You talked about being in the other sports. Kenny Bernstein went into NASCAR, went into IndyCar. Why didn't you ever go into NASCAR? At least you're a NASCAR fan. Why didn't you ever try some of these other things?
Well, I went to Buck Baker's driver's school in NASCAR, and I drove in that, and I drove in Vegas at the experience with
Petty.
Richard
I think it was Petty. Yeah.
It was his experience. It was Richard Petty in Vegas, right? Yes.
Yes.
And I know Richard Petty. I just couldn't remember. Didn't want to state that wrong. And I did it. I've never been in an Indy car, but you know, I went to a drag race when I was like 13, 12 years old. And I got there. I was supposed to go on with the Beaver brothers, and I climbed the fence at Pomona to get in. I didn't have no money, and Wally Parks come right over behind his tower, and he got me by the neck. And I always joked, I was a little guy in the well, I used to say the Castro hat, now I say the peacock, but I wasn't wearing a hat then. And what are you doing, kid? I said, I want to see the races, and you know, I don't have no money, and anyways, well, you can't be doing that. And yet he let me go in. And I just fell in love with racing. And I went to Lions, and I just found a way of life. Now try sneaking into an IndyCar race, they'll arrest you and throw you in jail. Try sneaking into a NASCAR race, they'll throw you in jail. So I don't know. There's too much drag racing. You stage, you react to a tree, you cut a light if you can. And in the middle of it, you go down a racetrack, and it's all kind of like sex. It's all over in 4 or 5 seconds, especially so that's an old joke. I said it 40 years ago.
That's all right. It works.
But what I'm saying is, in NASCAR and IndyCar, you got to do a lot of thinking out there. You got to drive, make changes, got to backshift, do all that. And I think it would just be too much for, even though I'm an 18-wheeler, double sticker, gear jamming fool, but in the middle, I'm the fool, not them truckers. Get everything around America, on them Goodyear tires. How's that for a flag?
But John, I'm sure that people have come to you wanting you to sponsor a team. John Force NASCAR, John Force whatever. Why didn't you ever sponsor a team? I'm sure you had the opportunities.
Well, if things don't go right, I may have to go over. And I'd probably go to IndyCar. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd go to NASCAR as much as I love it. Jimmy Johnson just went to IndyCar. I want to say a good friend of mine, but I don't hardly know him, with Ganassi, but he's a great guy. I met him a few times. I've been with him in Prudhomme in their hospitality. But he went for a reason. And I'm a drag racer. I love it. I love the speed. I love racing men and women, but you can do that in IndyCar and NASCAR. But I love the thrill of it, the header fire. Some nights I go get in my car and I just sit in it. And I know IndyCar's great and NASCAR's great, and roundy racing. It's all great. I love automobiles. It's my whole life. And that's why I know that Tesla and California is saying, in 2035, there ain't going to be no electric cars. I don't believe they'll ever stop it, because it's a way of life. We like the fire. We like the explosion. We like the tire smoking with smell of nitro. And you ain't going to get that, I don't think, with an electric engine. And I ain't saying we got to save the ozone layer. We know that. Okay. So we got to get things right to save our global, our world. But that's too much for me. I can't even think about all that. But
that's for the grandkids.
I can't visualize a car, and I ain't against it. I may want to go pitch a sponsorship someday, but they better get the batteries right. They better get that right. And I'm just saying that, the Industrial Revolution, the way things changed, but boy, I ain't ever going to say never, because things are happening today, like teaching our children online. You know what I mean? And people not wanting to go to work because they can do the same job from home. Sarah could do this job from home. She could do all this, set it all up, and make it happen. If someone would lead me around, tell me where to sit down. But what I'm saying is the world is changing and we got to evolve. But this time it's really changing. When you look at the things that are going on and just the world in general, it's amazing. But we will make it. Mankind will survive. You know what I mean? But, you all know the dinosaurs, whatever got them, the big fire, the earthquake, the snow, whatever got them, you froze them. Some got them. When time changes, it changes. And Rome fell. Never forget that. Rome fell. People got too big. Didn't you ever see? Hey, let's get back to you. I can't talk to myself. Let me see you.
Hey, listen.
No, that's really making me mental. Hey, look, there we are. Isn't that something?
Look at that, John Force.
Rome fell. Don't forget that. It can happen. And I believe that if you're God-fearing and you treat everybody with respect and give them their rights for what they believe, even if you don't believe in what they believe, give them their rights to believe what they want, whether it's religion or politics, or you like IndyCar instead of drag racing. Everyone should have their rights. How was that for getting away from that?
Wow. Okay. Hey, John, let's go to this. I believe this was when you guys ran 3 times at Pomona, where you ran that July 4th weekend, and you won. Do you remember that one? Look at that.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Stat, you're as handsome as ever.
Yeah, I'm fat as ever too, John.
Me too. Look at old Gary Densham.
I know, right?
I actually thought first it was you, but I thought it was my daughter Ashley. And Sergeant, you're just a kid. But you know what? You guys stayed together. You made it work. You made it a family, and people respect that. Keep pushing the deal. Go down that road. Don't do it if you don't love it. You know what I'm saying? And And remember, sometimes where you end up in life wasn't really the plan. Yeah, you know, God has a plan. And if there ain't a God, well, then I don't know what to say. But what I'm saying is that, and I believe there is, but I'm saying sometimes where you're wanting to go ain't where you end up. Sometimes you just end up over here and you don't know how. And so, you know,
get there.
You got to change that dream. You got to change. I have a few blank spots there.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I don't have them at 1,000 foot. You know, Peak, a great company, takes care of me with Blue Def and their companies. Of course, Robert Height with Auto Club, you know, AAA of Southern California. Here I go again. I love it. Montana brand flavor pack, Monster Energy. You know, myself, I already plugged myself once, but all of these sponsors, you know, we had a sponsor call this morning. They're going to do all this stuff, and they gave us so much social media stuff to do. And Robert says, oh my God, that's more than we do for everybody. And then, but Robert always keys me. I said, well, we do what we got to do. And it was for Pit Boss. They make barbecues, great barbecue. And in the middle of it, Robert goes, we got to do our job. But he said, we don't want our website to look like a cooking channel.
That's right. That's right.
Well, made sense. So we're going to do it. We're going to get what they want. But you're right. We don't want to get commercialized like I just did your show. So what I'm saying is, and that was a sandwich shop. And I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of it?
Blimpy. Blimpy.
Oh, Blimpy. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember. But we got to take care of sponsors, whether it's Cornwell, Parker Store, Goodyear, Herco. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I've been very lucky. Sponsors, I'm coming to you. I got some new ones we're talking to. But until we get a schedule from NHRA. Yeah. And before that, the pandemic has got to change. And it does what it does. You know what I mean? We're fighting the invisible monster out there. So I don't know how all that works. I'm not smart enough, but I love being on your show. I love to be able to celebrate your 20th anniversary with you. I know right now, you know, somebody's there in the background saying, can't we get rid of this guy? You're going to cut 90% of it anyway. And I wouldn't blame you. But I want to congratulate all of you for your 20th anniversary. And I will be here on your 25th, I hope.
Here's another one for you, John.
Who would I stumble on but one of the Freaks' faves? You bet. John Force.
Yes.
John Force.
Yeah.
Speed Channel camera right there.
Oh, you guys still in business? You hear the joke about, do you know why the girls in San Francisco quit wearing skirts? Can't tell you. Are you me? Wait, you can't say that word. Earnhardt did it and dropped out of the points.
What if NHRA fined you money for that?
They already wrote me the check.
That's so good. It's so good.
The way we were.
John, you were there from the very beginning with Speed Freaks.
Yeah.
When you went back to the pits, I'll ask you what I asked Ron Capps. Did the other drivers say, who are those idiots and why are you on their show?
No, they all wanted on it. Everyone, our job is to entertain the fans and to look at all these sponsors on the front of this shirt. Flavor Pack, Montana brand, the list just goes on and on. That's what we sell. That's what we do. And when we don't do that anymore, we're not doing our job. The driving is just the luxury of what we get to have fun that we love. But that is what we do. And I'm going to stick around here. You know, I'm 71 years old, going on 100. But, you know, I'm going to try to live to 100 like Bob Hope. And that's the way Bob Hope, did I just pull an oldie out of nowhere? But I grew up watching him and Johnny Carson.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that I love what I do. And every year, keep me coming back to your show. And I want to celebrate with you when you do 25 years. And I know I'll be here for 25, and I'll be here for 30, and I'll be here for 35. 40's kind of pushing it. They may have to roll me in, but I'm going to sell T-shirts from the grave because that's what I do. Stuff me, like Roy Rogers said, stuff my horse Trigger and let's go to work. He stuffed Trigger and he's still in the museum in Apple Valley, still making money, still selling T-shirts. So
there it is. Business model.
I don't.
I love you, Don Schumacher, and I love you, Connie Coletta, and I love you, Don the Snake Perdome. I love you, Shirley. So no matter what you think about me, I'm nuts. We already know that, but I'm coming back NHRA drag racing, and if they don't have a race here pretty soon, I'm just going to go out on somewhere and make a lap. That's coming if they don't turn us loose, because I can't go around crowds. Everywhere I go, I'm not allowed. You know what I'm saying? Been 6 months since I've been in a movie theater. So what I'm saying is I can't go at my age. They warned me, if you're over 65 years old, don't go in the crowds. Don't go nowhere. I'm 165 and I've been road hard. That's why I'm dieting. That's why I'm trying to get healthy. You know what I mean? I got it so much into fruits, flavor pack, vegetables and fruits. How you like that flag? I got so much into it that when I went down to get my, they give me colonoscopies, uppers and lowers, and they always come in and say, you're okay. We snipped a few. This time we snipped, what do they call them? Polyps. We snipped a few polyps. I got so much into fruit in the last 6 months. The guy said, I don't know about polyps, but you're sprouting blueberries down there. So, no matter. I'm going to go out telling a joke. And one of these days, I'm going to have a beer. One of these days, I'm going to have a beer. When this pandemic's over, I'm going to have a beer. I drank for the first 40 years. Mm-hmm. In fact, I might have been an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't believe I just said that. Sarah's going, oh my God, don't say that. But what I'm saying is I drank too much, but I got up every day. I went to work. I did what I had to do, but it was starting to rag on me. And you can't live this life 7 days a week. So in the middle of it, the truth always comes out on SpeedFreaks. But in the middle of it, I just quit cold turkey. Doctor said, you've been hit in the head too many times. You don't need to fall down in the shower because you drank too much. I quit and went on this diet. And so, but when it's over and the pandemic's over, I'm going to have me a beer. And you may see them on the side of one of my race cars. Oh! Shows you I can be bought for enough money.
Okay.
You need to drink again. But what I'm saying is, I'll just have one.
That's a great tease, though. That's a great tease.
Hey, look at that. Hi, Cutie Pie. What's your name, honey?
What you doing?
Go ahead. You go ahead, Henley. John's talking to you. Go ahead.
You know what I got?
Go ahead.
Is she shy?
I'm going to send you an Ashley doll. Ashley Force Hood is her name, but it's a doll. I don't have any. Do I have any here? I got one here somewhere. Hold it. She's going to get one out of the store, but I'm going to get you one today. Okay, Gladys, you get one too. Wow. And I love all my kids, but it was a promotion with Mattel for the Barbie doll.
It was an awesome promotion. Yeah.
So they made, and this when she first got into A Fuel when she drove the Mattel toy store car. So here it is. And look at Sarah right there. Okay.
This one's signed.
Oh, now you're coming over here.
Here you go.
Whoops.
Oh, sorry.
Can you see it? There you go, baby.
Oh, look at that.
Tell me your name again. What's your name?
Tell him your name. He's asking your name. Tell him your name.
Henry.
Nice to meet you, honey. And your daddy told her, don't talk to strangers. Crazy drag racers. I'll have this. I'll send this to you. I'll have to charge you for the mail. We're kind of tight on money over here.
That's okay.
I'm just kidding.
We'll take it out of our allowance.
Shouldn't tell that to kids. I will send these to you. So, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You need another 2 hours.
I think that about hit it all. Stat, Crash, you got something for?
That's pretty awesome. Just thank you for so much that you've done for all of motorsports. You are amazing.
You don't have to tell me that. These dolls will be in the mail. You'll get them in a couple of days. Now that's your little girl, right, Sergeant? Okay. God, beautiful kid. Got her looks from her mom. Anyway, you're beautiful too. If I was single, okay.
Say that again. Let me get a clear recording of that. What'd you say?
I'm gone. Okay. I want to say God bless you. Thanks for bringing this beautiful little angel on our show today. We got 2 angels there, and God bless all of you. I'm going to sign out here, John Force. It's all about the Wally. Parks is my hero. He is the greatest of all drag racers. Let me make that clear. But this was my grandkids, and I'm really proud.
It's so cool.
We'll see you on TV on Fox. NHRA will all be back. And I want to thank you. And one more congratulations on 20 years. God bless you. And take care of your daddy and mama. Love y'all.
Bye. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Bye.